This is a fair use video. This is a fair use video according to the copyright laws of 1976.
About power, not about how certain people seem to get rich overnight in Congress. Nancy Pelosi, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get over something. Anyway, but now the questions are being asked anyway because Ilhan Omar didn't just get a raise. She didn't just have a good year. She didn't just invest well. She went from basically nothing to a personal fortune reportedly in the millions of dollars, as high as $30 million, by the way, in a very shockingly short period of time. And when numbers like that appear, people notice. Regular Americans notice. Did you guys notice? Oh, Congress notices. And yes, federal investigators notice too. So this is where the tone changes. This is exactly where the tone changes. Suddenly, there's silence. Suddenly, there's no clear answers. Suddenly, people close to the situation stop explaining and they start dodging. Now, this is when panic sets in. Because here's the truth, guys. If everything is normal, you just explain it. You just, it's no big deal. You just, hey, this is what it is, right? If everything is clear, you welcome the questions. But when the FBI starts asking how a sitting member of Congress ends up with a $30 million fortune, when oversight committees start circling, when the story shifts from politics to money, that's when people start looking for exits. Now tonight, we're going to go ahead and walk through exactly why this story will not go away, why the heat keeps rising, and why the question surrounding Ilhan Omar's money is only getting louder. And once you see the full picture, folks, you're going to understand exactly why so many people think that this is just the beginning. They assume that there's something being hidden when you're not willing to just say what you do. And so that's the key point here. If the money is clean, you just explain it. If the business is real, you show it. If everything makes sense, transparency helps you. But when answers don't come, when explanations get vague, when silence becomes or replaces clarity, the pressure doesn't go away. It multiplies. And this is why the heat around Ilhan Omar has not cooled, it intensified. Governor Tim Walz to Attorney General Keith Ellison. The claim is simple, and it's devastating if it's true. They were told. They were asked to look. They were invited to review documents, and they didn't. There was no follow-up. There's no shutdowns, no urgency. And now I want you to think about that, okay? People in power, they don't just stop. They don't just feel the pressure. They feel exposed. All right, so now here's the part most people don't want to talk about, because it really explains why everything gets so loud, why the mobs show up, right? And why federal investigators suddenly become the villains. I mean, look, the resistance to ICE and federal law enforcement is not just about ideology. It's about protection. Because when federal law enforcement is kept out, systems don't get audited, paperwork doesn't get challenged, and money just keeps on flowing in. And once you understand that, a whole lot of behavior suddenly makes sense. Why sanctuary leaders attack investigators instead of welcoming them? Yeah. Why federal agents get surrounded instead of assisted? Why the focus shifts from did fraud happen to how dare you investigate that? That's not compassion. This is more about control. Now, it's clearly control because it really points to similar warning signs in California, Ohio, and even Maine for that matter. Look, massive fraud numbers, resistance to the law enforcement. You got leaders.
All right. Shalom, Mahabwa, Baraka, Kahalaya, Yamla, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Wahabra Pakadash. And really quick, let's just get a couple scriptures really quick. Because what I really wanted to bring out was Psalm 73, starting at verse 4. In fact, let's start from the top. Okay? Let's start from the top, but we're going to read through verse 6. If the Most High brings a precept to my mind, I'll bring them up. So let's go ahead and give it a try. First and foremost, Psalm 73, chapter 1, starting from the top. Truly, Yahweh is good to Yashar Allah, Israel. Indeed, to such as are of a clean heart. Mind. Your heart represents your mind. Verse 2, but as for me, my feet were almost gone. My steps had well nigh slipped. In other words, and for all of us in this truth, coming into this truth, and especially you You 2/3 that are outside of the truth. You slipped. You have slipped. And and your feet are almost gone. It didn't say you completely fell off, but you slipped. Why? Verse 4. Verse 3, Salakia, verse 3. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. That is a beautiful verse. I was envious. I was jealous of these people who are foolish, and it was because I saw, look at all this money they have. Well, guess what? Everything that goes up must come down. That's why you shouldn't be worried about these people. Stay away from these people. Just because she might look something like one of us, she's still one of the other nations. She's still a fucking heathen. And these heathens are like, and so they work together, but they hate each other. But they work together until something breaks loose, and they all go against each other. So, but right now, you notice that we, the people, if anything that's going on right now, not just this little example of the reason why the whole Minnesota rioting and ICE and Border Patrol started was because the Somalians had fake daycare centers, and they were funneling tax money, because when you sign up for daycare, if you don't make enough money, government will provide daycare services for you. So they had a bunch of fake children in daycare having services provided for them, taking our tax dollars, millions and millions of dollars. The Minnesota government knew that this was going on, so they didn't say anything about it. But who's getting in trouble for it? They're going to take the brownest person, of course, but at the end, I know that, let's just use, I hate to use Sean Combs as an example, or Bill Cosby, but those guys went to jail before they were even finished reading the evidence. In fact, the diddler, he went to jail before they even went through they just went and took his ass down and then went through the evidence. But these people, verse 4. So this is Psalm 73. Let's read 3 again. Psalm 73 and 3. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. Verse 4. For there are no bands on their death, but their strength is firm. They just stay there. They don't lose position. They can do anything they want, and they lose position. Why? Verse 5. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. So verse 6, therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain. Violence covereth them as a garment. Look what happened. You're telling me that they're not proud of themselves, and you're not telling me that they're not covered in violence like a garment? But they won't tell you that they were stealing all the money. So when you go in stealing all the money, and it's crazy because it really does, like, all of these people go into Titus. 1 and 11. Let's get it real quick. But let's get a couple more. I want to get another precept, though. I want to get another precept that they're not troubled like government before. Because I want to jump over to Titus, but I got to get a precept. We know that these guys are teaching false doctrine. Let's just get Titus real quick, and then we're going to go back over to Psalms. Okay, so let's go to Titus real quick. And in fact, we'll call it Titus 1 and 11. No, of course. Okay, let's go with this one. That one's just listening still for the rest of my life, probably. So let's go to this one. Titus 1 and 11. And it reads, let's go to the King James. Let's go, you know what? Let's go to New English Translation. They must be silenced because they are turning whole families away from the truth by their false teachings, and they do it only for money. So what do? They lie about what's going on. So their false teachings are, we got all these children in daycare. This scripture it's like orange juice. It's not just for breakfast anymore. These scriptures go into all day, everyday life. All day, everyday life. But you guys don't understand that. But that's okay with me. I don't care. I understand it, so I'm going to tell you. And those who do understand it, please come forward. Let them know. We know what's going on. We know that these are the reasons why there's so much confusion in the world right now. But that veil, the veil is being lifted. We can see their secret parts. What are the secret parts? All of these fucking scandals. The scandals, the lies. Come on, guys. Can I get one more before I go back over to Psalm 73? Because, let me just get one more. I want to read 2 Peter's chapter 2, verses 1 through 3 in the Berean Standard, okay? Now, there were also false prophets among the people, just as there will be false teachers among you. In other words, the false teaching is when people fucking lie to you. You guys got to stop being so fucking mystical. This book ain't just for teaching. It's teaching you life. It's teaching you life. But most people can't get that through their heads. Yes, the scriptures have parables. It's teaching you law, statutes, and commandments. But for all you 1/3 Israelites, this is literally teaching us a lifestyle. That's why it says, watch out for these false prophets and false teachers among you, teaching you that, oh yeah, there's a million kids there. Oh yeah, the government's this way, you just have to deal with it. No, you don't. Prayer and fasting. So, let me start over. I'm getting a little excited. Salakia for that. 2 Peter chapter 2, verses 1 through 3. Now, there are also false prophets among the people, just as there will be false teachers among you. And they will secretly introduce destructive heresies, even denying the master who brought them, bringing swift destruction on themselves. Many will follow their depravity, and because of them, the way of truth, that 100% truth that we've been teaching, thanks to GMS for the last 30 plus years, that truth will be defamed. Who's defaming the truth? Oh, those guys, they will rape a 3-year-old daughter. They will rape a 12-year-old. They will rape this. They will rape that. And then you go to the doctor and you're like, wait a second. So they were just reading what the scriptures say about when a girl comes into our flowers, she's age for marriage. You're crazy. They never said that. So this is what I'm talking about. Many will follow their depravity, and because of them, the way of the truth will be defamed. Just like all what's going on in Minnesota. You guys totally forgot that it was because these Somalians are over here raping us for millions of dollars in a fake daycare system scam. And they got deported. I don't agree with ICE. I don't agree with anything that's going on in this country. I think the whole place needs to be destroyed. So don't think that I'm saying, oh yeah, they're, no, fuck no, with a capital F. Just remember this. All of you are wrong. All of you in the government, in the system, Christianity, Muslims, Black Panthers, all of you are wrong. None of you will read the scriptures and follow what the instructions are. You all justify bullshit. And I just brought this out just to show you guys, look, you guys totally forgot the whole reason why they're in Minnesota. And I don't agree with any of it, because what did they do? They used that as a reason to oppress the people. They took these wicked-ass Somalians and started oppressing every single person. They even showed you how they don't care about this country anymore by killing 2 of their own. Yeah, they killed 2 Edomites. For what we can see from our visual depiction, from what we can visually see, they were Edomites. Visually, so-called. And we gotta understand something right now in this day and age. Going back over to the book of Psalms, chapter 73 and verse 5. They are not in trouble like other men, okay? They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. You go over to Job 21, 9 through 13, and it reads, let's just get it. Let's call it out. Hopefully, this thing is, I don't know whenever they update shit, my stuff stops working. Like I said, Job chapter 21. Starting at verse 9. And we're going to... let's start at verse 7. Where do the wicked live? Become old, yea, are mighty in power. Their seed is established in their sight with them, and their offspring before their eyes. Verse 9, their houses are safe from fear, neither is the rod of Yahweh upon them. This is really important. This is really important. One more. You know what? I'm just going to skip over that part. We'll just stick with 9. The houses are safe from fear, neither is the rod of Yahweh upon them. Why? Let me show you really quick. And I bring this out all the time, and it's important. Let me call it out. Job 9 and 24. And if you don't know this one by heart, then you really don't study the Bible. This is what it reads. Job 9 and 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So who is this person that's ripping up everything? Who sent ICE to Minnesota? And what's crazy about it is, I gotta get this too. Psalms 82 in the Berean Standard. Let's get Isaiah 5, verse 20 in the Berean Standard. Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who turn darkness to light and light to darkness, who replace bitter with sweet and sweet with bitter. Damn. And that's our government right now. That is our government. They're saying that the good is the bad and the bad is the good. They have did you see when Biden was in office? They had like a 500-pound beast, and that was the head of our health, whatever, telling us it's all about sugar pretty much. Everything was preaching with sugar, so we gotta So we gotta see that they're calling evil good and good evil, and they've been doing it. That's why everybody's at the hospital. Let's go to Psalms 82, verse 2. How long will you judge unjustly and show partiality to the wicked? How long are you going to do this? And we're asking the Most High because we see it. That's showing that the veil has been lifted against us. We can see that they're just completely, their wickedness is not only showing to us, but to all people at this point. All people are able to see it. So, how long will you judge unjustly and accept the persons of the wicked? Salah. Defend the poor and fatherless. Do just and afflict and do just to the afflicted needy. Deliver the poor and needy. Rid them out of the hand of the wicked. We're begging the Most High to come get us. We're begging him to come get us. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. You guys don't understand what's going on. So they keep putting out these government, how would you say it? They do these things because they're scripted. They've already gone. Everybody's an actor. Let's just say that. Everybody in this whole government's an actor. Why aren't these people going to jail? Why aren't they paying for their crimes against humanity? How is it that they can steal millions of dollars from us and then have a whole team of people surrounding them? Orchestrated corruption. They have orchestrated corruption. And so it's like predetermined corruption. Well, you're going to do this, and then we're going to send these people in, and this is how it's going to go down. Or you're not listening to me, so we're going to send people in and show them that you're corrupt. And that's what it is. So you got to understand there's more than one side to every story. They're all wicked, and they're all pushing a plan, but none of them are getting in trouble for it. That's what we got to see. So at the end of the day, you got to know, no matter what, that whole Minnesota thing, it was orchestrated. That's the word I was looking for. Government orchestrated. Whether they were in cahoots with Trump or whether they're against him, these guys are somehow all working together. How is nobody getting in trouble, but everybody's saying, you did it, this, that, fingers are pointing. Trump's still in office. He's never been impeached. He's never went to jail. He's done crimes against humanity. And we've watched multiple people in our government do that. So with that being said, I just wanted to bring out a few scriptures. So I'm going to go ahead and stop right there. And if anybody has eyes to see and ears to hear, I'm just making sure that there wasn't something else I wanted to bring out, and I don't see anything else. So shalom, and to the brethren, shalom.